22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 22 million.
Welcome. People for Politics radio show, blackwestchester.com. You could call in 914-969-6499.
Yes.
Or 718-705-4959.
Yes, we got a really big show today. We're dealing with the whole situation going down in Baltimore. The death of Freddie Gray. We hope to have City Councilwoman Helen Holton from Baltimore calling in today. We have activist Frank Shaw calling in. He was boots on the ground. He was there for the little protest march they had yesterday. We may have some other Baltimore residents, and welcome everybody who may be listening to the show in Baltimore for the first time.
Right, and we're also expecting Carl Dick.
Yes, to come in the
Stop
studio.
and Mass Incarceration Movement and speak about mass incarceration and the issues of police accountability, police criminality across the nation.
So we got Damon K. Jones in the house.
Yes.
I be AJ Woodson, and yes, that's me without the dreads. If you're looking on the thing,
Yeah, that's
now.
not me, y'all, without my glasses. That's AJ Woodson.
That's me without the dreads. So what up? So we got the new look for the new season. Shout out to Cynthia Turnquest-Jones, our lovely co-host. She is at Sugar Ray's wedding. Congratulations to
Sugar Ray,
community activist.
That's
Sugar
right.
Ray and his wife.
Congratulations.
Tying the knot today.
Congratulations,
sorry we
Sugar
couldn't
Ray.
be here because we had to be here. You know what I'm saying? But we there with you in spirit. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations. Word up. But so Damon, what have you done over the past? I just wanted to say shout out to Gary Bird. We talked to him a little earlier. You know, his show is no longer on. Was it LIB?
Tonight is the last night.
Oh, okay, and that's the losing his show is kind of like the death of black radio. There's a big piece we just put on the site. You can check it out, blackwestchester.com. We talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk more about that in detail. But it is why people before politics is so important right now, because we're just losing this voice. This is the kind of stuff we used to have an abundance of. You know, Bob Law, Gary Bird. We had an abundance of it, and now it's just dwindling down and it's disappearing off terrestrial radio. So we have to take it to the internet right now. So that's what we're doing with people before politics. So I was saying, Damon, back to what you do this week.
We were busy, man.
Busy.
Yeah, we were busy. Yesterday we both spoke at the Portrayal of Black Man in the Media, Black Men in the Media Part 2, and
shout out to the Shiloh Baptist Church
Ministry
in New Rochelle.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
Yes.
They showed us a lot of love.
Yes.
It was a good turnout of black men in Westchester County. I think it was definitely a good turnout, and
that's something they don't want you to see too.
No.
Like just a collection. Anytime black men get together, and I'm reminded what what Captain Dennis said. You know, you get a bunch of black men together, that's power in any form or fashion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, it don't matter what we're together for. But, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, the question is, you know, do we understand the power that we have?
Now, that is the question. That's a very good question.
Do we understand black men coming together, you know, is black economic powers, black political powers, black social power? It's all the aspects of what we need socially in our community, but we just need to come together, you know. And like I said to the crowd, you know, of men, I said, you know, one of the problems is, you know, the reason why we can't stop the gang banging in our community because we act like gangs amongst ourselves. You know, we roll in cliques and we roll in groups of people, and those cliques and groups of people, you know, I mean, whatever you want to call it. You could call it the church. You could call it the mosque. You could call it the corner of your street. You could call it the Masons. You could call it the Shriners. You could call it whatever you want to call it. You know, at the end of the day, those are groups of people, and those groups of people do not work together with other groups of people, even the fraternity.
Absolutely.
You know, we all need to sit down and come to the table and sit down and create some type of agenda, you know, for Black Westchester, for what we need in Westchester County, because there's a lot of problems and the problems are not being addressed.
Absolutely. And whenever you have brothers come together, like, I mean, even on when in '92, I think it was, when they had the LA riots and the Bloods and the Crips had a ceasefire and joined together, that put mad fear in the cops. You understand what I'm saying? Because they want us to kill each other. Now they were together. Like that's a dangerous thing. But when black men, see, the problem is when we can come together, and Democrat and Republican, rich and poor, it don't matter if you Christian, black, Muslim, atheist, 5%er, it don't matter what you are, you're a black man first. And when black men can just join in the unity of being black men first and put all their other titles and denominations and everything else to the side, we can affect major change. We can take back our communities. We can do a lot of work.
That's right, and that's what and that's what we need to do. I mean, we need to be able to come together and, you know, and build a collective, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. But the question is why aren't we doing it? You know,
absolutely.
You know, why is there a problem of black men coming together? You know,
and one thing I would like to see, we talked about the lack of outrage from the black community with the situation in the cops in Yonkers that we talk about often, Detective Christian Koch and Neil Vera, and also Detective Dennis Molina. These cops are responsible for falsifying warrants, which led to the death of Dario Tanner, fell out the window, 3 floors, fell on his back. They said he committed suicide, even though the coroner, the medical examiner, said in his whole history of working as a medical examiner, he's never seen anybody ever commit suicide and land on their back, ever. So,
right.
You know, so they did that. Then they caused a young man, Jamal Smythe, in Peekskill, 4 years of his life, sentenced to 15 years because of trumped-up charges, and they lied on the trial. And this young man was just released Tuesday. So they did all this damage, and then they pled guilty on Thursday to perjury, and they got sentenced to weekend jail. Christian Koch, who was in both of those cases I named, Dario Tanner and Jamal Smythe, he received 8 weeks of weekends, and Neil Vera, who was fired previously, he received 6 months worth of weekends. You know, I think there's a problem. Not only was it that they only got sentenced to weekend jail. You cost this man 4 years of his life, and you're going to jail for 8 weeks, 8 weekends. But there's no outrage from the black community, and I'm talking about the black pastors. I'm talking about the black elected officials. I'm talking about the black community. I'm talking about the black activists. I'm talking about those pro-black, pump your fist in the air dudes who always complaining about the white man did this and the white man did that. There was no pushback from nobody in the black community, and that's, you know what I'm saying. That was the problem I had. That was the outrage. That was the issue that I had. You know, so you want to speak about that a little bit, Damon?
The first thing. I don't understand why. I don't understand why the black leaders are so quiet and the black leaders are so quiet with this. I mean, are we literally going to allow Janet DeFiore to say that she's tough on police criminality? You know, the 6 months worth of weekends make up for Brother Jamal's 4 years in jail? And why are the preachers so silent? Why are the black politicians so silent on this? I think it's very disturbing. You know,
but I mean, even the regular people, there's nobody in the black community. There's nobody outraged by this. There's nobody talking about this. There's nobody pushing up about this.
Nobody's saying anything. You know, and it's sad because, you know, you hear everybody talking or asking me, "Oh, did you go to Baltimore?" You know, why do I have that? I mean, listen, the issue in Baltimore is granted. People should go down there. But we have issues right here in Westchester County. We have racism in Westchester County. We have police criminality here in Westchester County. We have police lying to put people in jail. Which, you know what, and the sad thing about it, it could be any of our parents, it could be us on any given day driving through Yonkers, and we could have been victims of these two police officers because they just decided to make an arrest and get some overtime and build their arrest. And then, you know, the unfortunate about it, over 20 cases has been vacated or dismissed.
And some of them were serious drugs. Some
serious
really
drug
big
crime.
So we're not even saying that they're innocent. It's just because they decided to take the easy way out.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, they're all going to have to be innocent because if they're based on...
Well, I'm saying we're not saying that they were innocent of whatever the crime that they originally was committed. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying everybody across the board was just innocent.
Look,
but the cops didn't do their job. They circumvented the system to get an arrest because they couldn't get an arrest.
At the end of the day, all the arrests that they made together, whether it's 20, and I don't believe it's just 20 like the DA said. I believe it's more.
Well, 20 have been overturned. That doesn't mean there was way more than that.
Well, 20 have been overturned.
Yeah.
That vacated, that they decided to vacate.
Right.
But the real issue on justice is all their cases should be reviewed.
Absolutely.
Every single one of them should be reviewed and they need to open up a grand jury investigation into the death of Dario Tanner, because if they lied on simple drug cases, they will also lie about murdering this young man. See, but nobody's asking those type of questions. Nobody is forcing. Nobody from the black community. Nobody from these governmental bodies. You know, I mean, I know Mike Spano, and if the mayor was real honest, he would say, listen, I want all these cases to be reviewed, especially the death of this young man. You know, stop worried about, you know, these politicians and people always worried about lawsuits. You know, but they're creating more lawsuits and they're creating more liability, not just going straight to the truth and having justice for people that they're supposed to serve. You know, cops should be held to a higher accountability. They should be held to a higher accountability. See, because if me and you lied to the police, we could be arrested, and I bet you a year's salary, you won't be serving 6 months of weekends. You won't be serving those 6 months of weekends. That's insulting to the face of justice. After this young man did 4 years, and then they still refuse to vacate the indictment Well, what witnesses are you going to call when you already said that the two main cops that are witnesses lied, are guilty? So this is ridiculous. This is definitely ridiculous, and these organizations need to step up, and these black organizations need to step up. Just like we said, these black churches, these black preachers need to come from behind the pulpit if they want respect of these young kids that's doing what they need to do for justice. You know, they need to come behind the pulpit and demand accountability. You know, and start asking questions when these politicians come into your church to try to get votes for election time in November.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, like I said, I know Mayor Mike Spano, but he should be held accountable. He should be held accountable. He should be questioned why. That's not that you fired one. What policies and procedures have you put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Absolutely.
And then the union president, he goes back and try to bring up Mr. Smythe's past arrest history. What the hell that got to do with your cops lying in the present? Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it. Instead of being a leader, a union leader, saying this will never happen again.
Right.
The badge is broken in Westchester County.
Absolutely.
It's broken. And nobody's stepping up and having no responsibility that's in the position to do so. Westchester County Chiefs of Police Association, silent on any policy and procedure change.
And actually, other than you, all black law enforcement is silent.
No, you got a few. Yeah, there's a few.
A handful, very few.
Other than the organization.
Yeah.
Other organizations I can't speak for.
But even the individual officers, or whatever.
Well, individual black officers are not going to speak up because they scared.
That's the point.
I'll just say it. They scared.
That's the point I was making.
They scared because they scared they might lose their little paycheck. They scared they might not get the post that they want. They scared they might not get their little promotion. They scared that they might not be put in one of these specialized units and all this other stuff so they can wear civilian clothes and be out there in the street and just be the enemy of black people. Because that's what the people see.
That's why this upcoming election, local election, is very important. I'm going to keep saying that. That's why this upcoming local election is very important.
It is important, but it's also important for these young people to register to vote, to take part in the political process, be involved, be informed. We have to have more vehicles like People for Politics radio show.
Absolutely.
We have to have more. The organizations, these organizations will have to get off their behind. You know, get off their behind.
So let me ask you. So organizations, what are they worried about? Funding? What is it? They're worried about what? Offending people? What is it that
well, some organizations is worried about funding. You know, a lot of organizations get grants.
Okay.
A lot of organizations get donations from big corporations, and
so if you ruffle enough feathers, you might not get the.
You might not get your money.
Right.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know.
I mean, that's not an excuse. I just want to know what I just want to know.
But and some organizations are detached, you know, from the actual day-to-day struggle, you know, of the common person. You know, they're detached, and I guess in order to continue to be in those circles, you know, you have to bend a little.
Real quick, just a couple of shots. One, waiting to see if Brother Carl Dix is coming in live in the studio, but Frank just posted a picture. He was in Baltimore yesterday with Frank. Frank got a picture of him and Carl Dix in Baltimore, and Frank said he's actually at the wedding. He should be calling in about 10 minutes, so he just hit us up. And I just want a couple other things to happen this week. We went to the Mount Vernon Chamber of Commerce had a administrative professionals day, which is the new word for Secretary's Day, but they changed it now, made it more politically correct, I guess. So it was Administrative Assistance Day for the city of Mount Vernon. It was pretty good. We covered that. Shout to them, and went to the family and friends preview party of Dave and Buster's. They're opening a new Dave and Buster's in Pelham Manor, right outside the outskirts of Mount Vernon. So Mount Vernon residents will have somewhere to spend their entertainment dollars, since there is no place in Mount Vernon to spend their entertainment dollars. Now you can go just across the border and take all your money over to Pelham Manor and go to BJ's and go to Dave and Buster and all that stuff that you don't want to be associated with Mount Vernon, but you can take all Mount Vernon's money because you're close enough right there. I'm just saying,
Well,
but we need places in Mount Vernon to spend our entertainment dollars. We keep saying that. Dave and Buster's is a real good look, but it would have been nice if we could have something like that in Mount Vernon, because Mount Vernon is going to be there. They're going to be there. They're going to spend their money.
Well, we got a response from Brenda Crump. She said, yes, police officers and others are to be held to a higher standards, Luke 12:48, but that he knew not and committed things worthy of stripes shall be beating with few stripes. For unto whoever much is given, to him much is required. And I'm gonna say amen to that. And it's the responsibility for the good cops to speak up against the bad ones, because of the fact that it's their responsibility. I mean, when we talk about police criminality, we're not talking about a big segment of the police force. There's many good cops that come out and do their jobs. Do their jobs every day and go home and be with their family and come back the next day and do their job by the book and to the utmost. But because those good cops are silent, when the bad ones, wreak havoc on the community, it makes it bad for everybody.
And you know what? And I don't think a lot of people understand, the silence of the good cops comes off as agreement. Like, if you're not going up against it, it's almost like you approve. You approve by default. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not speaking up against it. So you're with the behavior. So it almost makes it look like all of y'all are part of the problem, even the good ones, because y'all don't speak up against the bad ones. And I understand there's a culture there. And I understand speaking up, there's certain things that happen to people that speak up. But still, at some point, right is right. You just gotta speak up, man. I mean, the people need to see you. That's the only way we're gonna have better police community relations, when you can trust cops that's gonna speak out against the bad cops.
Well, yeah, well that's part of it. That's part of it, and that helps. But there has to be, checks and balances. There has to be community input on how their community is policed.
Absolutely. And we was talking about the portrayal of black men in the media. You can't blame the media for everything. I mean, the media is already set up not to show us in the best light. I mean, historically, you already know all of that. But by not doing anything about it, you're contributing to, like, for it to change, you can't blame. There's certain things when they show this, they show the people, they show us. They don't show white people, they show us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you hear this music, and yes, the music industry is controlled by corporations, but they hear the black kids saying this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter that they're being paid to say it, or they're being, their good stuff might not come out if they don't, put out music like this. The fact is, this is what they see. So they see you saying it. They see you acting a fool. They see you getting arrested. And they have this preconceived notion of black people because that's all they see. It's black people have to step up and keep. If we don't define ourselves, other people will always define us.
Right.
They'll give their definition of us because we're not stepping up to define ourselves.
Well. That's what they. That's what they have doing. I'm reading a book, and I can't remember the name offhand, but basically it's about blacks' loyalty to
To the oppressor?
to the Democratic Party.
I'm sorry.
And one of the things, was communication. You know, one of the things was communication, and one of the things we must understand, with the media, is that it was black media that got David Dinkins elected.
Right.
It was black media back then that made sure David Dinkins got in, because they all was on the same narrative, and they all pushed the same agenda, and they all understand, the importance of having a black man in office at that time as a mayor. That's
why the cancellation of Gary Bird's show, that's just like another hit right now.
It's a nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I'm not knocking the Al Sharpton show. I'm not knocking open mic.
Right.
I'm not knocking them, but they're gonna get canceled soon too. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. They're gonna get canceled too. And then what do we have? What do we have? A bunch of radio stations that just play music and not talking about the issue. They're literally dumbing down, Black New York. They're dumbing us down.
And Bob Law, legendary radio host, he spoke about that weeks ago on here when he called in, and for many years you could hear him on the nation across the nation on his show Nightline Talk Show, and he said changes in radio ownership means informative and influential voices like his and Gary Bird will no longer slowly become a thing of the past. We got a caller. Let's see who this caller is. Caller, this is People Before Politics. Please state your name and your comment, please.
Hello?
Hello? Caller?
Oh, just listening.
Oh, just listening. Want to say your name? Who?
George.
How you doing, George? Thank you for listening to the
I'm
People
okay.
Where
it's
you
a
from,
little
George?
bit low on your end.
Where you from,
I have
George?
a bad cell phone.
Where you from, George?
New York.
Okay. So, any input on anything we talked about so far? You wanna got any comments or anything, or?
I can hardly hear you.
You can hardly hear us?
Hello?
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Nope. Let me try to call you back.
Okay.
All right. Try to call us
you.
back. Thank you, George.
So yeah, as I was saying, the change in the radio ownership means informative and influential voices like Bob Law and Gary Bird are slowly becoming a thing of the past. The longtime community activist told the final call in an article, New York's first and only black mayor, David Dinkins, would have never been elected if it had not been for black radio. We ended the article by saying an important vehicle for enlightenment and mobilizing the community has suffered another crippling blow with the recent cancellation of Bird's show. Yeah, that's the article. That's from the article, "The Death of Black Talk Radio in New York." Imhotep, Gary Bird goes off the air.
Yeah. So Priscilla just texted me. She said that Carl Dick should be calling in.
Okay, because he might not have got back.
Yeah, he might not have got back from Baltimore, but that's good though.
Okay. Any word on the councilwoman? Is she? Priscilla, if you're listening, can you look into that for us?
Yeah. So.
But we were trying to what we're trying to deal with today is the whole situation with Freddie Gray, 25-year-old black man, who on April 12th died. And he died a week later, but on April 12th he was arrested, and then it becomes unfoggy the details.
Somebody's calling in.
Okay, hold on. Caller, please state your name and your comment. Caller, please state your name and your comment.
Hello?
Hello. Call us. We can't hear
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, Frank Shot France. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. What's up, brother? Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, Frank?
All right, but who is it? Brother AJ.
Yeah, you're coming in kind of
Kind of static. Kind of.
static.
It's a bad. How I sound now?
Yeah, you sound a little better.
All right. Hold on, brother. Let me move around so I can get a good signal. How do I sound now, fellas?
All right. Well,
I can't even hear y'all, man. God damn.
You said you can't
Can
hear
you hear
us?
me now?
yeah. We hear you there.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, great. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am worn out, man. I'm tired, boy. It was a hard, hectic day yesterday in Baltimore, brother.
And we were just starting to talk about that. So, the situation, that led to the death of Freddie Gray, and y'all went out there for the protests and march yesterday. So, talk about this, how that went. Tell us a little bit about that.
Ask your question again. Man, I'm gonna have to call you back for another phone, man. All right, 'cause let me see if I can move around. I want to have a good connection because I think what happened yesterday was very significant, very important, and very historical. You guys hear me?
I'm hearing you good, yeah.
All right, so y'all hearing me good, but I ain't hearing y'all too well.
So
I guess that's what it is.
yeah. So if you want to move, if you want to move to a better spot, just go ahead and call us right back.
All right, give me like 5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
All right?
We want to hear what you got to say, brother.
All right, yes, sir.
Oh. Yeah, so another thing in the news is that John Conyers, Representative John Conyers, he has introduced the Ending Racial Profile Act. The legislation was introduced many times before, and it would prohibit any law enforcement agency or agent from engaging in racial profiling that would grant individuals injured by the racial profiling right to obtain declaratory or injunctive relief. So this bill will grant people the right to sue the police department or the agent of the police department, the agent of the police department. So I mean, I think it's real good that, but I don't think it's going to pass.
But I'm trying to. We had a little
Yeah.
technical difficulty. We want to make sure that the callers could hear us. So that's being worked on right now. So I didn't really hear too much of what you said.
Well, we were just talking about the legislative bill that John Conyers has pushed, the Ending the Racial Profiling Act, and what it does, it allows the person that has believed that they were injured, that they were racial profiling, to sue the police department or sue the police officer, and a good lawyer will sue them both. So.
Right. So I'll ask you, speaking from law enforcement, and you know more. I heard you say you don't think it'll pass, though.
No. Well, it's not. I don't think it's going to pass the Congress and the Senate.
Right.
I mean, historically, anything that has any type of oversight on law enforcement, it's not passing, and I don't even understand why. But I know why, because the police department still has a lot of lobbying power with these politicians, and they donate big dollars with these. We got another phone call. Welcome, caller. State your name and where you from.
All right, hello. How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing good, brother. I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Yes, sir. Everybody sounds like a good connection.
All right. Welcome, Brother Shaw. This is Brother Shaw. He's a friend of the show, and he was live on the scene down in Baltimore while they were protesting for justice for our brother down there. So Frank Shaw, just let us know, bring us up to date on what's going on and what happened down there while you was down there.
All right, man, it's a very tense situation, and unfortunately, it is a repeated situation, as Rick said, unfortunate tragedies, that justice that's been happening across the country to a lot of black, brown women. What happened in Baltimore, a young brother by the name of Freddie Gray, killed by the police, his eyewitness accounts of the happened. And as usual, you know, the police and the mayor and everybody asking everybody to stay calm until it's a full investigation. And mind you, this full investigation that they're speaking about is an investigation by the police on the police. Third, that is a man dealing with that. But the police is not able to investigate, you know, have an independent investigating body that's all.
You sound like you're fading in and out a little bit.
Excuse me?
You sound like the last part of that you faded. You were either not talking directly into the mic or to the phone, or you sound like you were fading in and out.
Oh, what I said was.
Now I can hear you good now. Yeah.
Okay, what I said was that the mayor and the police commissioner and the elected officials down there are asking everybody to stay calm until there's a full investigation by the police on the police. And that's what I said is absurd, that how the police are going to investigate themselves. And that's one of the list of demands that he has, is to have a partial, an independent investigative body
Right.
and all allegations.
So just standard how everybody else. That's how it is with every other situation.
But-
They want us to remain calm.
But Shah, was there any other while you was down there? If any other elected officials had asked for independent investigator of the case?
No one has asked for that. There's one person in New York basically asking for the city council oversight, and that's Melissa, city council member. That's a demand that nobody's really asking for, pushing. We're going to keep pushing that. Because like I said, once again, it is absurd to believe that anyone can get a fair, just investigation of the police investigating themselves.
Oh, wait, brother. You said that there was a New York City council member down there asking for an independent.
No. I said no. I know of no elected official anywhere.
Oh,
Okay.
Only one city council member that I know of anywhere, and that's Melissa Mark. I can't remember her last name. She's asking for city council overview, and that to me is not enough neither.
right.
But
Right.
Well, you know what? When we get together for stuff like this, the mainstream media tries to make us look like a mob and unruly. Talk about the actual march, the getting together. You know, was there any incidents? Was it peaceful? Talk about that.
man, it's a very dynamic thing because I'm going to be real. The media often does put spins and lies on it, and you do have some elements anywhere where it's like a kind of things get a little unruly. But for the most part, Malik Gulu Shabazz, Black Lawyers for Justice, a good friend of mine who I've been working with for a long time, called Dick, South National Operation. These are two separate organizations, along with many other local organizations. We really made this happen. We put out a lot of flyers. We pushed hard for 5 days prior to this to make it happen. And for the most part, it was very well organized. Saturday, we came down to the main boulevard. The police were nowhere to be seen. It was pretty organized in an impromptu manner. When you're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of inexperienced locals who put in a lot of work. I don't want to take nothing from them, and they put in a lot of work, and then they want to kind of take charge and take credit. And I'm looking at them, man. You just learning how to drive a goddamn car, homie. Don't let you drive a flip. That ain't gonna happen. So it was tense. It was tense. There was no straight, clear, understood leadership of who's who and who has experience and who's been doing what and who really bought these 10,000 flyers and got the permit, to do this because of experience. So it was a little friction,
So when people went down there, like the permits and stuff, that was done by the local people?
No, sir. Malik Gulu Shabazz got the sound permit. He got the parade permit and everything else that was needed. Carl Dick, he bought 10,000 flyers and a lot of posters that you see and that big Stop Murder by Police. That's done by Stop National Operation. They did that. I think did Carl Dix come on the show tonight? I think he was supposed to be coming on the show, right?
No, he got stuck. We got to reschedule, Brother Carl. He got stuck down in New York City. So by the time he get to the traffic, through traffic, get up here, he wants. So we're gonna reschedule him.
But he's gonna try to call in though, I think.
No, she just rescheduled.
Oh, just rescheduled him
Yeah,
altogether?
Priscilla's just gonna reschedule him.
Okay.
Because we want to give Brother Carl enough time that he needs to come on, because there's a lot of things we want to talk about.
Well, Carl Dix did a great job, as he always does. You know, he's a real champion for people. Him and Brother Cornell West, they started to stop mass incarceration and they're dealing with mass incarceration. And they work with a lot of locals they've been working with down here. People like Travis, Sugar Ray, one of your people there at the radio station that works with a lot, Cynthia Turnquest-Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a real strong dude, committed to the people. You know, I give brother, Carl Dix, a lot of credit, man. He did it. He was one of the major organizers down there, unbeknownst to a lot of people. You know, and I'm quick to give brothers like Carl Dix and Malik Shabazz their proper accolades. You know.
I'm trying to get a couple of actual residents of Baltimore to call in, but since you have boots on the ground, what was the tone of the residents of Baltimore?
And let me tell you something. I don't want to sound racist, like this brother's racist. Them brothers down there in Baltimore, they got a different mind. The way we march, protest, and demonstrate in New York, it's a different beat. Them brothers are ready to burn. Them brothers are ready to nuke. Them brothers are pissed off. I'm predicting, and I'm terming this right now, a bloody Baltimore. Some of the organizers from New York, man, we want them to, goddamn it, they may declare martial law on y'all, bringing the National Guard. It is intense down there. It's about to pop off. And I got to add this real quick. There's one of the locals there, local reverend named Reverend Reed, calling us outsiders. A lot of other people saying, well, people coming in from all over the country to rile people up. I had to
Really?
remind, we wasn't welcomed by some. Oh, man, it was an intense situation. But I had to remind them quickly that Bull O'Connor, Alabama, used to call Martin Luther King and Kwame Ture outside agitators to come down here and upset our niggas. So that's a common divisive tactic, and I want to, call attention to that and profoundly blast that. There's no such thing as outsiders. If brothers in New York got a problem, and brothers in LA and Atlanta and Chicago hear about it, we should all stand together. The same thing goes for our brothers in Baltimore. We should all descend on Baltimore because we're all facing the same problems in our own local areas.
Now, what's the name of this pastor again?
Reverend Reed.
Reverend Reed. See, when you hear a pastor say that other black men and black people that are coming into the community to give support are outsiders, we have to question his loyalty.
Yes.
We have to question what side is he on. See, because like you said, what Bull Connor said, we can't have those outsiders come in here and agitating our nigga, or we can't have those outsiders coming here and educating our niggas to do protests and to do protests properly. See, we're seeing, brother, and you've seen it firsthand in Baltimore, and we've seen it in Ferguson and other places, that we as a whole, we're so far removed from the civil rights movement that people don't even know how to protest no more.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I was in a meeting with Bob Law with some preachers in Brooklyn. They had no clue of organizing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, these are preachers that don't know how to organize?
Yeah.
So it has to be a national education. That's why a brother like Malik Shabazz and Carl Dix, them brothers that just put boots on the ground in those situations, those brothers are there for a purpose. We understand, and I respect their purpose on what they do. That's definitely needed because it also shows that organizational structure and how to organize and protest and how to bring awareness to a situation is really missing in the black community now.
And it's funny that you said that because you said, you said organized properly, because we seen a clip before you went down there. Them young boys took the mic from the CNN dude, was like, F CNN, F you, F this. They was about to go off on the CNN man, and he was just trying to report. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo.
That was happening yesterday. But let me add on to the organized property thing. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this term. I've been using it a lot lately, and that's called the Judas goat. And the Judas goat is a misleader, pretending that they're trying to lead you somewhere good, but what they're really doing is leading you to the slaughter.
That's right. And
a lot of these pastors, they are in the pockets of some of these politicians, and their job basically is to give false hope. And we use some strong words, man. Curse say, some minor curses. What they're doing is blowing smoke of false hope up the asses of the mass. They really don't care. Before we even try to think about teaching them organizing skills, we got to think about what is their real intent? Who is their real loyalty and allegiance to? And some of them pretend to be about the people, but they're not. They're about just maintaining the status quo so they can keep their little 2 houses that they got and their little 3 or 4 cars. They don't care about the masses. They are purposely deceiving the masses. And it's up to us that know better to point out certain things and to put it on blast. How dare you call me an outsider? I'm a black man in America. Came down here to help you. United. And you're using a decisive tactic.
And just so we clear, this was a black pastor.
I don't know what he looks like.
Oh, okay.
I can speculate to say he's a black man, but it's a black city, predominantly black. So I would say yes, but I can't guarantee, can't concretely say that. But also, this pastor had the nerve to say that Baltimore is a tight-knit community. We know how to deal with police injustice. And I put it on blast on Facebook. I said, well, goddamn it. You here in Baltimore know how to do something the rest of the country don't know. Maybe y'all should teach us how to get justice, because case after case that I've seen all over the nation, black and brown, unarmed, innocent people are gunned down, or killed, or choked, or in the case of our brother Freddie Gray, and I want to give you some eyewitnesses report before I go on to what happened to this brother. They said that one cop threw him on the ground. He laid on the ground, stomach down, face down. One cop put his knee in his back. The other cop grabbed his leg and lifted it up and folded it behind his back and folded it into a pretzel. They folded him into a pretzel.
That's before they put him in the van.
Before they put him in the van.
I figured that.
They had to carry him to the van. He
right.
The van. And all the witnesses heard this man screaming in agony. He could not walk. They threw him in the van, and now the mayor and the police commissioner and everybody else is trying to spin it as a distraction that something happened in the van. What happened in the van? They want to see, was it proper? Did they deny him medical? No. The issue, and everybody and all the eyewitnesses that's seen it, the issue was they broke his back before they put him in the van.
Yeah. And I told my wife, if all the listeners clearly watched the video when they picked him up off the ground and they were dragging him to the van, if you look at his legs had no stiffness in them. They had they had no stiffness. It was just like they were just hanging there. And I told my wife that this had to happen. This had to happen before, because he was hurt when they put him in the van already.
And that's the point that we got to hammer home.
That's right.
They keep trying to say it happened after he got in the van, and they was sure properly. No. All that cover up. All that is the cover up that he cannot allow. They also say that his voice box was proper. I mean, some of these cops, Damon, once again, I always said, and I'll stand by you, Mr. Law Enforcement Officer. Some people think that I'm anti-cop. I'm not. I'm with the good cops. Unfortunately, there's very few, like yourself, who are willing to speak out. That's another demand that I have, that all these truly law-abiding law enforcement officers should speak out. They shouldn't be chastised or ostracized for speaking out against any injustice. It is our duty.
Two things real quick. Freddie Gray's lawyer, William Billy Murphy Jr., said that 80% of his back was severed. And I looked up this pastor, Pastor Frank, what's his name? Pastor Frank M. Reed. He said because Baltimore is a strong community, we don't need help from outside of our city and state to deal with this. As you can see, we have had protests here, and they've been very peaceful. We're all working together for justice for the Freddie Gray family. As a city, we are very capable of making sure justice is done. Yeah, this is a black preacher from Bethel, some church in Bethel AME Church in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to look him up. I was spelling his name wrong. Huh?
Thank you for doing your extensive research, man. I know I can count on you to always do that.
Yeah, I just Googled him real quick. I was like, yo, Pastor Reed, Baltimore. He came right up. He obviously is a very vocal individual because there's a whole lot of clips of him.
Well, Pastor Reed, well, see, Pastor Reed should be happy that people from across the nation is coming into Baltimore to support them. And instead of being decisive and destructive of the quest for justice. See, and this goes back to we got listen, if I'm ever around Pastor Reed, I'm gonna question his who are you loyal to, brother? Because this is not a Baltimore issue. This is
black community
this
issue.
This is a global issue. So I mean, black people are being killed by police all over the globe. But the thing is here is, when we try to bring that awareness and even support, I mean, you're pushing the support away. Why? Why?
It's that divide and conquer. That's the whole divide and conquer mentality.
Bottom line, and it's a good question, you see. And you brought up two interesting points that I like to touch on real quick, right? And one of them is the first thing is like, how do you tell who is really about the unity, the empowerment, and the upliftment of the people? Well, I'd say, this is how I put it. Those really fair-minded, decent, justice-seeking people, they seek to multiply amongst the like-minded.
Absolutely.
They seek to multiply and reach out and connect more people. They ain't trying to get no personal accolades. They just want to make sure people are connected. Whereas those who are really not about the betterment and the upliftment, they try to divide. They try to keep people away, or they try to take credit for the work that others are doing. So I use that as a litmus test to be like, okay, I know to watch you, homie. Why you don't want me to be with my brother?
Right.
I want me to interact with my sister. Me personally, I don't even tell who I brought together. I just bring people together and say, yo, y'all get together and do the work, respect each other, love each other, and help each other uplift each other. You understand?
That's right. But that's what we supposed to do. I mean, that's what we supposed to do. We're supposed to come together for common causes, and wherever walk of life, that we have, brother, and that's what I mean, that's what it was all about. We all came together, I believe, Brother Frank, I think it was the peacekeepers first.
Right. That's right. We linked up with Marty Grant.
That's right. And then we found that we all got something in common, and then we grew from there. But the thing is that I mean, he's trying to kill the network, because maybe it's something in New York that the brothers in New York was able to push the city council, or the legislation that's on the desk of the city council, the Community Fair Act, or the Community Fair Act, which what they have, and they're pushing it on how to hold their police officers accountable through legislation. See, if he wasn't so ignorant, he would ask, well, what have y'all done in New York to help us do legislation? And then we say, hey, brother, this is what we doing in New York. We got the independent special prosecutor piece of legislation. We got this piece of legislation. We got recommendations from blacks in law enforcement of America on different pieces of legislation. Now you take this, you build off this, then you take it to your city council person, you take it to your senator. See, that's what it's all about. Is passing knowledge. But
sharing knowledge.
Yeah, right. It's sharing knowledge. But this brother here, he don't even want y'all in the city. Let alone
because he wants to be in control.
Right.
But you brought up a good point. Many law enforcement agencies, many other industries, they have conventions, national conventions, where people, supervisors, average workers, all over the country come together and think tank and brainstorm a new ideas of what works in the city and what don't work in the city. And maybe we as activists and community servants, maybe we need to do the same thing. Have a national convention where activists from all over the city, all over the country come together and think tank and say, you know what, this works in New York. Maybe we need to do some more. I'm 100% with you. And even again, I got to reiterate, be mindful of those who want to separate. I'm going to take it to the streets real quick. A lot of unsavory dudes, pimps and things like that, they get with a girl or they get with a person, and they try to isolate them from their family. Let's take their phone.
Mm-hmm.
These traffickers, these human traffickers, when they bring in women from Asia, South America, they sever their contact. That's a divisive thing. You understand? They isolate you like an island. Whereas those who are really for you, they want to help you build as many bridges out to as many different people as you can without trying to play the middleman.
Right.
They teach you how to be free and independent. And they're going to be happy to see you shine, knowing for a fact that if you shine, and I put my shine together with you, well, together our light's going to shine even that much brighter.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yo, one of the other things that came up that I was looking at, he didn't have a seatbelt on, and they were talking about this issue that the press, NBC News said, police brutality against prisoners being transported was addressed just 6 months ago, and a plan released by Baltimore officials to reduce conduct. Department rules updated 9 days before Gray's arrest clearly states that all detainees shall be strapped in by seatbelt or other authorized restraining devices for their own safety and after arrest. Their attorney for one of the officers admits publicly that Gray was not in a seatbelt, but he tried to cover that up by saying policy is policy, practice is something else, particularly if a prisoner is combative. He told the Associated Press, it is not always possible or safe for an officer to enter the rear of those transport vans. But the van had stopped 3 times on the way to the station. Stopped once for them to go inside and put leg irons, so they had to go in to do that. Stopped the second time for them to deal with him, which is probably what furthered the cause. And they stopped the third time to put another prisoner in there. So they had to enter to do those things. So
let me just say this real quick. All of that right there in this case does not matter. All of that is a distraction. Let's go back to the founding premise that this man's back was broken
before he even got in.
That's right. That's right.
Forget all that other stuff. All of that does not apply here. What they're doing right now is trying to figure out a way to spin it and cover it up and get to these eyewitnesses that seen exactly what happened. This is why they're buying time. What the hell are they investigating? Well, how many times do you got to ask the officer what happened? It don't take this much time.
Right, and you're 100% correct, because I was watching the mayor and she says, well, they didn't follow policies and procedures. Okay, well then you know what? Bring them up on charges then. Bring them up on departmental charges and convene if you serious, be like the chief down in South Carolina. He didn't even go to no grand jury. He went straight to the charges, and even though, he's probably gonna get a jury of his peers, and we never know what's gonna happen in court. But there's one thing we can say is that he put the charges on him.
Right.
Right away.
Yeah, right away. He ain't have to have an investigation. he ain't have
Now,
to. He had to have investigation.
what happened with Walter Scott, right, is proof positive of what is why we need to be able to film the cops, why we need body cams, and we need everything the police do to be filmed. If that brother that filmed the cops did not have done that, that police would have lied and said yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because you already see him trying to plant the evidence.
You've seen him on the film picking up the taser and putting it by the body.
That's right.
That's random. That's the random. He was caught in the lie.
That's right.
So once again, I mean, the body cam, the cameras on the guns, and making sure that all police work is done in front of the cameras is not the end-all, be-all, but it is a necessary component so that we can see the evidence for ourselves in live time what happened. I mean, I got these lists of demands, and as I watch the thing, and I realized, well, this is why that demand is there. And now there's another thing that happened that has something to do with this. An officer in Albuquerque got in trouble because he turned off his camera before he pummeled one of his detainees, and the other officer spoke about it. So that goes back to proof positive why I say these cameras should not and cannot be controlled by the individual officer. That's been controlled by an independent agency and monitored in real time.
Right. Yeah. But you know, and you're right. But the reality is, these municipalities ain't gonna spend that type of money to do all that. But they also need to have policies that are actually going to cover, and they have to be strict policies. If you turn off the camera in the process of making an arrest or interaction with a civilian,
that's right.
you can be punished.
You should know. I go even a little stronger than that, brother. I say if you turn off the camera, if you make sure your camera is not working, you are deemed automatically guilty. It is your duty to make sure that your camera is on and is working, and that ain't hard. These cameras don't break like
No,
that.
I mean, you just gotta. It's just behavior modification, and one thing that they have yet to do is do any type of police behavior modification, because you don't see police officers going to jail for deaths of black men, and you haven't seen it, and when police officers do break the law, they slap them on the wrist, and that does not detain the next officer from doing it. It doesn't take, because his thing is, well, you know, these guys, they just got caught. A law enforcement officer, if he's trained correctly, he's trained to justify his actions. Of course, that training is not that training. When all that training was created, there was no such thing as cell phones or anything like that. But he still will justify his actions on paper. See, but what will happen is the video, like the man in South Carolina, showed that what they wrote wasn't nothing like what happened. You know, because he could justify his actions. He justified why he shot him in the back. Because he had my taser.
And didn't even in the Eric Garner situation, they didn't have chokehold in the original report either.
No, the supervisor, nobody had to suit. See, and this is the thing, you know, and nobody's fired from that. You know, and nobody. The report is a legal document. Yo, brother Shah, if you lied to a cop tonight, they're gonna arrest you, and you're gonna get more than weekends in jail.
Yes.
We all know that.
Well, let me speak about something that you spoke about real quick, and that's the deterrent. When you study crime and punishment, right? And you have some people who have a moral deterrent. They'll find a bag of $10,000 on the street and they go, oh, no, we can't. We got to give it back. They're so morally right like that. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, most people are not like that. This is why you have a criminal justice system to punish them, to isolate them for retribution, to deter them, okay, from doing this. And unfortunately, as what you alluded to, the officers have no deterrent. They are not afraid. In fact, when they commit a crime and kill a black man, many of them get promotion. When you suspend them, when you put them on modified duty with pay, you basically give them a goddamn vacation.
No, not only that, not even that. In many cases, they get more overtime on modified than they do in the position that they had.
You're giving them an incentive to go out and kill black and brown and minority men and women. You're giving them an incentive. Shit, we're going to get away with it. No, they got to know clearly that nobody is above the law.
Absolutely.
Everybody must be held accountable for their actions, whether good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe yesterday's protest did it accomplish anything? What was accomplished other than the protest happening? If anything.
Well, that's a good question, and I'm often asked about marching and rallying and protesting, and what do you think, or what do you hope to accomplish? Well, this is trifold. Number one, we show unity and solidarity. We show the powers that be in the elected officials that we represent and come together, and we draw attention to the cause. We draw attention to the egregious crime that was committed. But the marching and the protesting and the rallying by itself is not going to do nothing.
Right.
We got to push for legislative changes. We got to use economic sanctions. We have to have listen, or else. You guys do this, or this is what we're going to do. There will be no business as usual. You know, no justice, as Bob Law says, no profit.
That's right.
You know, we're going to shut it down. We're not going to spend our money and feed your tax coffers. We're not getting equal representation or equal justice. We're going to shut it down. So, yeah, we sent a strong message to the world. What we did yesterday in Baltimore was historic and unprecedented. You know, like I said, Carl Dixon, Stop Mass Incarceration, Malik Yusuf, Black Lawyers for Justice, myself, many of the other local organizations, we came together, and you can look at the crowd, and I can teach people how to estimate the crowd size. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I look at the storefront and think about how many people can you crowd into that storefront, and then times it by a whole block. Some people want to say 2,000, 3,000. Some even say 5,000. We brought 10,000 people from New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, D.C., Newark, local Baltimore, together at City Hall. We made a strong statement. We showed that we could shut down your traffic, disrupt your normal flow. We disrupted the Ravens game. And we tell them we're going to do it again, and we're going to keep doing it again. You know, unfortunately, some of the youngsters got a little overzealous and upset, and was attacking some of the innocent. We don't want to attack no innocent people. This is not about the people, whether they're white or black or whatever. This is about the system. This is about letting the city and the city elected officials know y'all got to stand up and put some laws in place that's going to afford and accord every single one of your citizens equal protection and equal rights under the law. Freedom, justice, and equality for all. We're going to shut this thing down.
Is there a follow-up in place, a certain amount of time for them to do something before y'all go back or anything?
On May 1st, they said they're going to come out with a decision, an investigative decision, and then May 2nd, next Saturday, we're going to do it again. And this time around, we're going to tell the media, we're going to let everybody know, if you think this was big, that was the first time around. This thing going to snowball. You think it was 10,000 people this time? Well, on May 2nd, we're trying to bring 20, 30,000. And we're going to keep doing it again. This is a movement. This ain't nothing we doing for the moment. This ain't no stick and move. No, we're going to keep doing this, man, to make sure that every black man, every black woman, every brown man, every poor white man, woman, and child is afforded equal protection under the law. That's all we asking for.
Right.
We ain't asking for a pound of blood. We ain't asking for we just want to be safe, man. We want to know that when our children walk outside, man, that they will not be accosted or abused by those who want to protect them.
So that's
what's
up.
Who want to protect them, abuse them, that they will answer a swift price and pay the price.
So they're going to have y'all protesting today, and they're going to have the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight at night.
Look, the streets be empty. Yo, the streets gonna be like this, y'all.
I heard it. Well, goddamn it, that's gonna be in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Look, they gonna sit back and they say, well, the Pacquiao fight's on. Watch them disperse. They might the police might announce it on the loudspeaker. Everybody gonna be like, "What? Oh, we didn't know that."
Yo, listen, man. You know, I put down those distractors of what I call entertaining things. I want to see that Pacquiao Mayweather fight. I don't know if I'm going.
Nobody be protesting when the fight's on.
They don't have to worry about people not getting off the streets that night.
Yeah. That's one night they know it's gonna be clear.
Now, hold on. Listen to this now. Because, you know, I'm thinking, man, as you pointed out, we making fun. Maybe we should get a drummer trial with the fight on the Jumbotron.
See, that's where I was going. I actually was going with that. I was going to say, because if you want people out there, you're going to need a really, really big screen, you know what I'm saying, and show the fight for free or something like, yo.
Man, yo, I'm joking.
You might have a Million Man march out. You might have a Million Man. People going to be driving from other cities to go there and see it free, you know.
Yo, listen, man. Listen, I'm serious, y'all.
I'm serious, too. That's why I brought it up.
Maybe we should get a goddamn Jumbotron with the fight on it.
Hey, man, you had 2.5 million people out there.
Yo, but no, often, and it's unfortunate, oftentimes, the Romans used that same tactic when a vast majority of their citizens got disgruntled and upset, dissatisfied with what was going on, they would put on more gladiator games. This is a distraction. The same thing happened here in America, and I tell people, man, I don't care with what's your name, Tricky Mirage, or Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
No, she's a Tricky Mirage. You heard what I said.
Tricky Mirage.
Damn Mirage. I don't care what she's doing or what she's saying. 'Cause I ain't got time for that. But they use these entertainers and these athletes to distract our youth and make them idolize them. And
she made a statement?
Huh?
She made a statement?
No, she ain't make no statement.
Oh, okay.
But she ain't gonna make no statement.
Oh.
She's probably making a sex video or something right now. I don't know. Everybody concerned about what she's doing,
right,
as opposed to having my brother Freddie Gray.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying? It's an old Roman technique to just keep the people distracted and keep them looking up and idolizing the wrong thing.
So let me ask you.
Idolize brother Damon Jones. Damon and Mama, you should be idolized. AJ, you should be idolized. We should have our youth looking up to want to be like you. Y'all putting in the work.
Let me ask you a quick question real quick, because I'm not familiar. I don't know if I've heard this. So far, any of the officers, are they suspended, on limited duty, or anything, just back to work as normal? What?
As far as I know, they've got vacation. They are modified duty with pay.
Okay.
And we put it out there. We said, you want to really show something? Suspend them immediately. And it's another one of my demands. Any officer suspected or accused of any type of wrongdoing should be suspended immediately without pay, pending the outcome of the investigation.
You know what they should do? You know what? Do you know that a regular bus driver, like the city bus driver, if they have an accident, they lose the next 3 days while they investigate the whole thing? Now, if they're found innocent, they get their money back, but they lose 3 days. Just for having an accident, like somebody ran into them, they're going to lose 3 days.
Well, that's a good point, AJ, and we could use that as an argument point. Well, if this happens to the bus drivers, why, if any officer suspected or accused of wrongdoing, is not immediately suspended, pending the outcome of the investigation, of which, if they are exonerated, then they are fully compensated.
Right. But you take that money out their pocket right away, though. You just
immediate.
And our brother Corey always says, Corey Pagisi always says, when you talking about a deterrent to make other cops not do it, when you see that first cop miss a couple of mortgage payments,
that's
you know what I'm saying? Like, they'd be like, oh, okay, when you see that cop do the perp walk, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
that's right.
That's gonna make other people like, hey, you're gonna start thinking.
Strong deterrents are needed. Strong deterrents are needed. And I hate to say it, and Damon, no disrespect to you, because you are one of those few good apples. They always want to say it's just a few bad apples. No, most of these law enforcement agents are morally corrupt, and if they didn't come into the force morally corrupt, watching what went on around them morally corrupted. So we have to have strong legal deterrents.
That's right.
We got to revamp the whole system and not create a culture where they think that sometimes they got to break the law, or it's all right for them to break the law, in order to enforce the law. That they are above the law. That they, in general, point blank, they are the law, judge, jury, and executioner. No. That's not where they are. That's where it's supposed to operate.
I want to put out there too. The Baltimore City Councilwoman Helen Holton was and agreed to call in, and as of right now, we still haven't heard from her. So, Black Westchester will be getting in touch with her office during the week.
All right, yeah, I remember when I was down there, I was going to ask, so I was trying to get you, if I can get in contact with her for some of the contingent of people who was down there to go talk to her to see what her position is.
Right.
Say, she may be another Melissa out there speaking out against Bill Bratton. Melissa's a councilwoman in New York. Can't remember her full name, but she's speaking out against the broken windows policy. Against Bill Bratton. Her and Bill Bratton is going head to head. So I like her, man. I think she's really about it for the people. I like her.
Well, I mean, we sent her, I guess, an email and a phone call, and she responded like right away, and she agreed to and then confirmed. So I need to know why she didn't call, and we just since I put the promotions out there, and everybody was expecting to hear her. Black Westchester will be reaching out to her this week. So, and again, brother Carl Dix got caught up in traffic in New York. I mean, in the city, and he was still trying to come.
Right. But we're gonna reschedule that. Bring brother Carl Dix up here. We're gonna make sure we reschedule that, and we're gonna get on the Baltimore City Council.
Before Cynthia, I'm gonna see if I can get in contact with Cynthia Steve. I can not only get Carl Dix to get Cornell West, get Cornell West.
Well, that would look, brother. That would be great too, because we would love, we would love to have Cornell West come up here. Not only talk about what's going on, but talk about this so-called beef between him and Michael Shyster Dyson.
Who?
Eric Dyson. Michael Eric Dyson.
Michael Eric Dyson.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
You got to read the article that he wrote on Cornell West, the ghost of Cornell West.
All right.
And
well,
then look, and then you'll be trying to blow his phone up, be like, "Yo, you got on a radio show and address this man."
All right. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Cornell West is, that's my dude. I've rocked with him many times. He's been to many different things that I've been involved in. I've been thinking that he's been involved in. I consider him a real type of dude, a stand-up dude. I put him in the category like I put Carl Dix and Malik Zulu as one of the rare few that are really about. I put you in there with him too, Damon.
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm not any close to Brother Cornell, but I thank you. I'm humbled by that. Even with Kenneth Chamberlain, man. Kenneth Chamberlain reached out to so many people. Even Michael Eric Dyson, didn't get a response. But when he ran into Cornell West, it was like, brother, give me a date. Let's make it happen. And he came up to White Plains, and Cornell West dropped it. So you got to have appreciation, right. For a brother like that.
That humble dude about the people, man. He don't believe that. He's one of us. He knows he's one of us, man. He treats us just like he would treat himself, man. That's a humble dude. You ever met him, Damon?
Yeah, I met him. I met him when he came to White Plains. We was on the same day as his.
At the church.
Beautiful brother, huh?
At the church, we was all up there with the church.
Yeah. I met him then. I haven't seen him since, but I met him then though.
I met him back in the days. I forgot what case it was that I was covering for a newspaper. It was years and years ago. But he was holding it down back then.
But those are the brothers those are the brothers that we have to stand around, because a brother like Cornell West, he disagreed with the black establishment, and he held President Obama's feet to the fire on the issue of the poor. And what was President Obama actually doing, with the poor? And even, Dr. Fulani had said at one point, she said, when in 2008, when President Obama was running for president, he spoke often on the campaign trail about the poor. But once he got elected, the talking points went to the middle class. He
Right.
started speaking about the middle class and not about the poor. And if we if we look at what Hillary Clinton's doing now, you know, she's not talking about the poor. She's talking about middle class. So she's starting off leaving a whole segment of people out. You know what are we going to do? So when Cornel West became critical of the president, they sent Al Sharpton, they sent this one and that one, and then I guess the last person they pulled out because Cornel West, his movement in Obama's 8 years of presidency, Cornel West's movement grew with the grassroots level.
And he's still grassroots.
Yeah, he's still grassroots, brother. And now I guess you can't. I guess he's getting a little too powerful with the grassroots, so they send Michael Eric Dyson after him. But it backfired because I saw a couple of pieces where people went into Michael Eric Dyson's behind.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and you call me your online bodyguard.
That's right.
Now I work very closely with Cornel West and Stop Mass Incarceration. And if my brother did something wrong, I'll pull him to the side and Cornel, maybe you shouldn't did that. But if this cat's out there attacking my brother, they on some bullshit. I'm telling you right now.
Yo, I'm gonna tag. You know what? Let me find the piece, man.
And tag you and send it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the piece, brother, and put it on your page and let you. Yo, it's a long. Yo, I got through half of it. It's very long. The
But
piece.
he's definitely a wordy cat, though.
Yeah, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not gonna sit and read all this. I mean, it was too long, but.
Well, he had nothing to say, but he was trying to act like he had something to say.
Right. And then they say Cornel West responded with just a Facebook paragraph and just tore him up, with a paragraph.
He's a sharp dude, man. He's a sharp dude, and like I said, I stand behind him, man. We're gonna get him on this show.
We will appreciate that because I think it would be great to have him on the show. With all the work that him, brother Carl Dix, we not, slighting Carl Dix. Well, we don't reschedule Carl Dix, but for him to expound for those listeners that read the article, The Ghost of Cornel West, and some educated Negroes that would even because of that article even dismiss Brother West's relevancy to the fight, to the struggle, to Black Lives Matter, to moving forward on an agenda in 2015 to really address a lot of social issues that are in our community. I think people need to hear that, and for him to explain it. I'm not looking for him to attack Michael Eric Dyson. I'm looking for him to rationalize the reason why he decided to write these pieces against him. Who's pulling the strings of the MSNBC commentary?
And I mean, but that's a historical tactic. When they want to put somebody down, they find one of us to do it. Like, you remember when they was attacking Ali back in the days, and he wouldn't go to the war, and they had Jackie Robinson,
right,
who's who's like Mr. All-American, saying, "Oh yeah, Ali should be ashamed of himself for not fighting for this great country that gives us all these opportunities." And he made all these real big public statements against Ali, and I was real pissed off when I seen the documentation of all of that stuff. But they do that throughout history. They'll find somebody to somebody equal, in your community, to tear you down.
Right.
You made a good point about not attacking Brother Dyson, and oftentimes we get confused with that. And I like to always point out, it's not about attacking the person personally. It's about attacking the issue or attacking the position. Unless you are really coming out attacking that person, then you still got to be the bigger person and say, you know what, I'm not gonna make this personal. I'm gonna stick to the issue, to the topic. You understand what I'm saying? So if Brother Dykes is saying something wrong, I'm gonna come at him like a legal lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like they call my man, my lead guys, the warrior attorney, sticking on the topic. Prove this point. Prove that point. Why did you say that? What evidence or what facts do you have to back this up? Or are you just making it and giving an opinion? And if that's the case, well, you're entitled to that, but stated as such. That is your opinion. You know?
That's right. That's right. And that, and then basically at the end of the day, that's what it is. But we also, the wise among us, know there's a reason that it was posted in the New Republic, the website of the New Republic,
Right.
and then Salon did a piece on it, and now black media is questioning, the piece. But I say all the time, we learned a lot in the 8 years of this Obama presidency. We learned a lot, and it was a grace. But the problem, this is just my opinion. The problem is America in the Obama presidency has really showed what America is about.
Yes, it did.
And
yes.
we still haven't we're still in the honeymoon phase with this brother being president. And it's and the relationship is over in 18 months.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't woken up, brother.
I've said it all over the place. I publicly said I don't bite my tongue. When Obama was running for president in 2007, man, the things that he was saying, man, I felt good. I felt great. When the brother won and got elected, man, I was dancing in the streets. He was dancing. People in Queen and like I'm sure all over the country. He was dancing in the streets, man. I was one of them. I was celebrating. I went down to the goddamn inauguration. And I swear to God, that must have been one of the coldest days in my life. And I stood out there for 8 hours in a thick crowd on State Street, right there in the heart of downtown D.C. I was so happy. But then after a while, I realized I got hoodwinked. It's the same old thing.
I got hoodwinked.
I stopped calling him Obama, and I started calling him Obamber, because he was sending predatory drones everywhere. He continued the Bush bailout of the bank. I'm like, this brother ain't doing nothing different. He came with a whole bunch of, like I said again, false hope, blowing smoke up the asses of the man.
Well, look, you know why? Because, look, even if you put a black man in the seat, right?
Yes,
the agenda of the presidency doesn't change. It doesn't change who's in the seat, whether it was Republican or Democrat or independent. It doesn't, and it doesn't change. And they taught him, and he got that hard lesson the first 2 years, because remember, when he got in, the Democrats ran the Senate and the Congress.
That's right.
And he couldn't get nothing passed then. They wasn't as disrespectful. But he couldn't get nothing passed even when he ran when the Democrats had control of the White House, the Senate, and the Congress. Nothing changes because you got a black man in it. He could have great ideas. Not saying Obama didn't have great ideas. But the agenda, the American agenda, doesn't change. The American global agenda doesn't change.
You're bringing up a very good point, especially as you mentioned the Democrats and the Republicans. And there's a saying that say they're basically two wings of the same bird working for the same purpose.
That's right.
And it's giving you a false choice. Well, it doesn't matter who you pick, whether you pick the Democrat or you pick the Republican. The puppet master is the same.
That's right.
So now we got to look at other parties. We got to look at the independent parties.
That's right.
The party, the working class party. We got to let these Democrats, the The Democrats think because you were black, you're going to vote Democrat. And we got to let them know that's not the way it is. They've been able to take us for granted. I mean, I've campaigned out here with people, and I've done polling and petitioning, and I've had the old black people ask me, well, is he a Democrat? They hear he's a Democrat, and that's all they need to hear. They don't even know he's a black.
Right. He could be a child molester. They don't care as long as he's a Democrat. Like, you don't even know this man, and the only thing you want to know is he a Democrat.
You a Democrat? Yeah, all right. You got my vote. God damn. And we got to raise some awareness about that. And let the people know that the Democrats, they believe in big government oversight, but they really don't believe in big government oversight because the officials that they put there, like what Obama did with the FDA and the USDA, he put ex-Monsanto executives into the high positions. He put ex-Wall Street executives into the position of Treasury and into the position of the Federal Reserve. It's all in-house. So yeah, the Republicans say, small government, big business. But it's the same thing. It's a shell game.
It's the same. It's the same. It is the same thing. And until the masses realize that it's the same thing, then we can never change the political process, and we'll never gain control. And then what they do is they play on the masses with political gangbanging. Don't like that person because he's a Republican. Don't like that person because he's a Democrat. Don't like this person because he's an independent. You got to stick with the Democrats.
And the Democrats better watch out because they just assume they're going to get the vote. There's a lot of them young Republicans going after the Democratic vote. They're purposely trying. They're going to steal some of them.
Nah, I think still at the end of the day, if Hillary wins the Democratic primary, well, I mean, I think if Hillary or whoever, they're still gonna, because it's just I can't see the national stance that the Republicans are taking, against homosexuality, against because they made these gay marriage laws civil rights issues. They made it. No, and we're not, and I'm not getting into religion. I'm not getting into what the Bible says about marriage. I'm not getting into that. I'm getting into just the legal definition of marriage. They've made it a civil rights issue. And
listen real quick.
Yeah.
Let's don't get caught up in the shell game once again.
Right.
The Republicans may have a difference on this small issue. The Democrats may be about this when it comes to gay marriage. They may have small little differences that seem like they're giving you a choice. Once again, it's a shell game. It don't matter if Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton gets in there. They both being controlled by the same puppet master.
Well, that too. All
right, now hold on. Let me just make this real quick point. Now, the campaign laws and the campaign financing is where it all starts. And this is how the rich control the candidate. Even though there's a cap on the amount that someone can contribute to someone's campaign, what they do is have these fundraising dinners. $25,000 plate dinner. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton will come into New York, and these Wall Street executives will show her a big fundraiser where the plate is $2,500, $25,000 plate, and you ain't getting all that. You may get 3 goddamn little red potatoes. They like to eat them little red potatoes.
Yeah, I know.
little bit of carrot and that dry ass baked chicken and steak and vegetables choking off her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then they give you caviar, but it's $25,000 for that. So now let's keep in mind, who is going to be at this $25,000 a plate? Who? And that's like maybe platinum status. For the regular friends, is maybe $2,500 a plate. This is where they're raising their money, and this is where all the rich people are buying the candidates. The regular Joe ain't going to be there. Now, if I run for office, I want to have a goddamn fundraising dinner. It's $20 a plate, $15 a plate. But I don't want just 40 or 50 big movers and shakers to be there. I would like for 400 of the community members to be there. You're paying $15 a plate, and we're going to have some collard greens in the seats, too. Got some collard greens, We're gonna have that barbecue chicken where you made up that picnic. Remember, Damon?
Yeah.
That's real food with real people, so the real people can get involved and not have it as exclusive fundraiser. Because once I see Barack Obama or anybody there, you basically telling me you pandering to the rich, and the rich are buying you right now. So you're not about what's good for the benefit of the masses of the people. This is how the plutocracy and the oligarchy work, and this is how they keep control of those who are pretending to do the work for us. It don't matter what they call themselves, Democrat or Republican, red or blue, Crip or blood. It don't matter. They ain't got our best interest at heart.
Right. Right.
No doubt. Yo,
And the facts, hold on, let me just hammer it home with this. And the facts and historical facts shows and proves this. This ain't no damn theory. We are in this position because this is what they've constantly done. Constantly giving us, constantly blowing smoke and pour soap up the asses of the man.
Yo, I want to give you a chance to how can people contact you? Do you have a website? What's your name of your organization? Anything you want to give the people that's listening to follow you?
All right. I work with Black Lawyers for Justice and Malik Shabazz. There's a website. I don't even know what it is. I work with the Stop Master Association. Let's see what that one is. Well, you can also hit me up on Facebook, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Shah, S-H-A, Francois. I work with the Stop Master Association, Politics, at Cornell West. I work with the Cop Watch, the Jamaica Cop Watch team out here. You can contact me there. You can contact me on Instagram, Frank and Francois, F-R-A-N-K-S.
Ain't you involved with the Peacekeepers too, brother?
I'm about to get to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I got. You can't see I got my Peacekeeper shirt on right now, Frank.
You know, me and your Peacekeepers with Captain Denison. And I got, I got to get a list of all the websites. Peacekeepers, founded by my brother, beloved Captain Dennis Muhammad, and we got to stop and send him condolences. He just buried his daughter. And I know he's going. All the peacekeepers out there listening, make sure you get out our beloved Captain Dennis Muhammad. Give him some love and support as you go through these hard times. And there's a website for the peacekeepers too. And do you know it, Damon? You know the peacekeepers website?
Nah, I don't know by heart.
I'll get that.
Yeah, we'll paste all that up though. We'll get it all.
Yeah, all right.
And just, and like I said, just you can't see me right now, but I got my Peacekeeper shirt on right now.
All right. Make sure you put the peacekeepers first. That is the organization I've been involved with for the longest. I've been involved with Captain Dennis and the Queen's Peacekeepers, which him and Russell Simmons, as soon as they established it, I was one of the first five. I don't want to really brag too much, but I was. As soon as he came out of the Queen, I got with him and Russell. Me, my man Gavin, and a few other cats. So put the peacekeepers first, and that's why I was going to mention them last.
Okay.
All right?
All right, that's what's up.
What, Jamaica Cop Watch, Stop Mass Incarceration, next Black Lawyers stuff.
Right. So we want to thank you for calling us.
Yeah, brother,
always,
thank you.
and for the work that you do, bro, and for being boots on the ground wherever you are needed. And please let us, know whatever the follow-up is and keep us informed. And, just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Got you, and I'd like to thank you guys also for the work that you do, spreading the word and spreading awareness, and also giving me an opportunity to speak to the people, man. I appreciate what you guys are doing with everybody at Black Westchester and people before politics are doing, man. Much love, much respect.
Thank you, brother.
No doubt,
thank
doubt,
you.
No doubt.
We'll talk to you, brother. Peace.
Peace.
So that was my brother Francois, who was down yesterday in Baltimore for the rally, the march, the protest. And he wanted to give us a rundown of what was going on down there and, what's going on. So that was cool. Again, the city councilwoman did not call in, and we will be getting in touch with her this week. And we rescheduled Brother Carl Dix because he got caught in traffic. So we wanted to do the whole show and have everybody call in and get it from different angles, but that wasn't able to happen. So So D,
Yes, sir, brother.
what's good, man?
It's another tomorrow. I'll be on not Ella, not L, no, not LIB, WBAI.
Okay.
At 11:30. Me and Ron Hampton.
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning. 11:30 in the morning. Me and Ron Hampton. I got the email today wanting me to come.
So we're
on.
not doing the other thing tomorrow.
Yes, we're still doing the other thing.
Earlier?
No, it's at 1:00.
Okay.
It's at 1:00. We're gonna go sit down with Jamal Smythe and have a video interview with him on his ordeal. You know, how it feels to be home 4 years and just what did he feel about, you know, cops that lied on him, you know, getting only a couple of weekends in jail.
And just so y'all not familiar with the case, I guess he was driving and he gave a friend a ride. His friend had a knapsack, and in the knapsack he had drugs in the back seat. He had put it in the back seat. For whatever reason, they got stopped. The cops lied and said that the drugs were visible and everything, and that was their reason for searching and everything. And went to trial. He got 15 years, even though his friend testified that that was his bag. He put it in the car, and that Jamal had no previous knowledge that that stuff was even in there. Even his testimony didn't matter, but the cops' lies were taken into consideration, and his brother was sentenced to 15 years, of which he served 4. 4 years without being with his children, 4 years without being with his wife, being with his family, 4 years that these cops in the system cannot give him back, that he lost. They basically stole 4 years of his life. You can't pay him for that. You can't, it's 4 years. 4 years of your kid's life. That's a crucial, especially if they're little, that's a crucial time. You can't pay that back. You understand what I'm saying? You just can't pay that back. So, that's how I feel about it.
I think it's a travesty and justice. And I really feel that we have to do more in Westchester County from our leadership, and I just think people just need to get involved. Because what happened to Jamal Smythe could have been happening to any person's father, uncle, husband, or son just driving through Yonkers, and they decided to do this nonsense, and the fact is that nobody's saying anything, and nobody is outraged that, these cops only got a couple of weeks of weekends. Right. For all the listeners, you got to understand that means Monday through Friday they're home in their house or at work. Actually,
Christian Koch, who's involved in both cases, still has not been fired or anything. So,
right.
So that means from Monday through Friday he'll be a Yonkers police officer, and then from Friday to Sunday.
Right. From Friday he'll check in. He'll check in Friday night, and he'll stay Friday night and Saturday night in jail, and they'll let him out on Sunday or Sunday evening, and he'll go home. And Friday he'll go back to his life, and then the next Friday he'll check in for how many weeks?
8 weeks. His was 8 weeks. Neil Vera was 6 months.
Yeah, for 8 weeks. That is ridiculous. If Black Lives matter, then this sentence shows that Black lives don't matter to the district attorney's office and to the DA's office. And that's why we need laws on police criminality. We need it to be defined, what it is, so we will not get sentences like this, because I could guarantee you they're going to blame the structure of the law, and they're going to blame everything else but themselves.
Real quick, going into the end of the show, just a shout out of sorts to they finally decided to confirm Loretta Lynch.
Right.
I didn't want to just, that was a big story for the week, so I at least wanted to mention that. After, I forgot how many days, but it was more, her confirmation was more than the last 7 of her predecessors put together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't say that she wasn't good. They were just playing political whatever.
Yeah. Well, they just playing political bullshit, and that's all. And that's all it is. But now, now that she's confirmed, it's going to be another waiting process because she might replace the assistant attorney general. She might replace the assistant attorney general over the civil rights division. She might replace this person, that person. We don't know what she's going to do when she actually gets in office. So, everything's going to come to some things that are in the process, trials and stuff will continue, but other things may come to a halt. I hope she replaced Pete Barrera. She can do that. Get him the hell out of the Southern District because too many black people are being shot at, killed, beat up, and the civil this Department of Justice, the Southern District, has been useless. Yonkers Police Department has been being investigated for the last 7 years. 7 years. And we still have police officers like these two still running amok, acting crazy. People ended up flying out of windows. And the Department of Justice is doing nothing. I'm sorry. I have been very disappointed in Holder's administration, especially when it comes to local cases in Westchester County. And I hope our sister Loretta Lynch will do something. And the first thing she needs to replace Pete Barrera. I don't care about these politicians going to jail. Politicians are crooked.
You wanted me to remind you of something. You said, do not remind you. Put it on your screen. Look at the screen. You wanted me to remind you of something.
Yo, and Marcus Griffith, the city councilman, was supposed to come last week. I'm very disappointed that he stood us up.
He said he's coming.
When?
And he said he'll pick another. He's definitely still coming.
Then I'm not going to say what I'm saying. I'm not going to say anything until he comes.
Okay.
I'm not. He's not going to be like other people, like Reggie Lafayette, that told us twice and didn't show up.
Okay.
But that's a whole nother story.
We're going to reschedule. He, for whatever reason, he couldn't make it when he said when he agreed to come. There's some stuff that happened, and we're going to discuss that with him when he comes on the air.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all. I mean, one time, it can happen when you tell us you're coming, but
not only that though, we were at a function, and he was like, "Yo, I couldn't make it before." He was like, "Yo, is it too late for me to come this Sunday?" So that was his. I didn't ask. He asked, "Can he come that Sunday?"
Right.
So
No, it's never. Look. Anybody who wants to come on the show, it's never too late to come on the show. Look.
We have three empty chairs for you.
It's 3 empty chairs. Y'all could come and have a seat. But thanks to the brother Fred Shaw for calling in. Carl Dix, we're going to reschedule, and Cynthia's at a wedding. But you can come on the show. You can come on the show, and if you really have something to say.
That goes for everybody. Mayor Davis.
That goes for.
You are invited to the show.
Let me make this clear. That goes for everybody. Everybody.
Well, what I hear from people is, Damon said he invited, but he's never invited me. So I was calling people out. That's why.
Well, that was Reggie Lafayette.
Yeah.
So I mean, here we are. We're live. Reggie, you're welcome to come on the show. You're welcome.
Anybody who's listening who knows Reggie Lafayette, let him know that we said this on.
You're welcome to come on the show because black people want to know why black folks catching so much hell in Westchester, and we have the president of the head of the Democratic Party in Westchester is a black man. We want to know that. We want to know, what's his position on the HUD lawsuit and Westchester being a segregated county. We want to know why we want to know what's his position on his Democratic district attorney, allowing these police crimes, and when they do get something that is meaningless to the lives that it affect. We want to know that. We want to know about the rise in the homeless people in Westchester County. What is his position on that as the head of the Democratic Party? the head of the Democratic Party. And, you know, we want to know that. I mean, these are things that people want to know, that people has brought up to us, that they want to know that's happening in the city.
Because they felt like they haven't been getting answers.
Right. They have not been getting answers. We want to know. We want to know why in the black communities the graduation rate is lower in the white communities, which the black communities is mostly run by Democrats. We want to know. I mean, those are the things we want to know. It's these questions are not attacks. They're questions that people have, that readers have, that, you know, maybe you want to talk about. Maybe you want to talk about. We want to know. People still questioning why Memorial Field is still not built. People want to know.
We will be bringing. We're extending invitations to everyone. Everybody running for office will have an.
Everybody. If you're a candidate, you are welcome to come on the show. It doesn't. I'm just not talking about Mount Vernon. I'm talking about whatever district you represent or you're running for
in Westchester County.
In Westchester County, you can have a voice on this show. Let's make it clear. Let's make it clear. You can come on the show. You know, you can come on the show. We got listeners worldwide. We got more listeners than people think that we got listeners. Well, some people know we got listeners because, you know, they get upset when other people announce on our show. But, you know, we got listeners.
They get upset when certain people call our show and make comments.
Yeah. You know, but it is what it is.
We want to thank everybody who rocks with us, who supports us, everybody who holds us down, everyone who listened. Again, I'm sorry we couldn't get you everything that I promised you, but certain things happened. But we definitely wanted to deal a little bit on Baltimore. Get out of the local political arena and deal more with what was going on in the black community. That was the intention for today. We thank our brother Frank for calling up, man, because, you know, like I said, he shed some light on some stuff being there. And, you know, we can't be there. Sometimes we need to have those that's boots on the ground, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like our correspondents calling in, you know, giving us the report of what happened on the street. So we thank him for doing that. We look forward to hearing from Carl Dix, because he was there too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm sure his perspective is going to be something you don't want to miss. Definitely when he comes on the show. So, Damon, any last words, any comments, anything coming up this week, any messages, any... shout out to Cynthia, who's not here. Go ahead.
The 30th, you have an event going on. Sister Juanita is Westpac, is all the different organizations. They're talking about voting, the importance of the vote at Greenberg Town Hall. I think people should go there and get educated and get your mind right for this election time. That's I believe it's at 7 p.m. at Greenberg Town Hall, and then you have the Independence Party having a function on the 30th also. They're having a function, and I've been invited to be the moderator for a debate for the Mount Vernon School Board. That's coming up. I'm not too sure of the date, but I'm going to get the confirmation email. Brother AJ will be on Bob Marone this Tuesday.
Absolutely.
What time again? 8:30?
8:30, yes.
8:30. He'll be 8:30. I'll be on Wednesday at 8:30. I'll also be on WBAI at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow with my brother from Washington, D.C., and my big brother and mentor, Ronald Hampton, from Blacks in Law Enforcement. What else is going on? And on the 19th of May, Dr. Lenore Fulani will be guest politicallyindependent.org and the NAACP again at the town of Greenberg on May 19th, the Greenberg Town Hall
7 p.m.
at 7 p.m. I think everybody should come. And
the address, just in case people don't know, is 177 Hillside Avenue, White
Right.
Plains, New York.
Right, and she's going to be talking about, can democracy transform our social crisis. Because there's a lot of crisis going on in the black community. So, you could go on blackwestchester.com and get all the information.
Again, we want to thank the brothers from Shiloh Baptist Church for allowing us to come there and speak. And, hopefully that was a powerful discussion. And hopefully it won't be the end. It wasn't just a discussion, but a plan of action will come out of that, and we will build from that point. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it.
Hold on, brother. Sister Brenda Crump just posted something. Oh, she posted a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I was looking at
school board candidates forum. Okay. April 27th, Monday. This is Monday at 7 p.m. First Methodist Church.
I'm glad she reminded me.
277 East Lincoln Avenue, Mount Vernon. Thank you, Sister Brenda. Thank you. And she posted something else too. She's posted a lot today.
Yeah. Everything we talked about, she posted.
Right.
We talked about Loretta Lynn, she posted it.
Yeah.
We talked about Freddie Gray, she posted the video.
Oh, it's something else she posted. The Performing Arts Magnet Program, open house and informational session, April 29th, 6:30 at Longfellow Middle School, 624 South 3rd Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. That's going on. And I think one more before we get out of here, because I know she looked like she posted 3. We want to make sure we get everything in, because Brenda Crump is definitely a friend of the show. Mount Vernon CSD 5th Annual Perfect Attendance Celebration. That's something to be celebrated. Thursday, April 30th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Mount Vernon High School. And I think that's great. Wait. Oh, one more thing. Thank you, Brenda. At Greater Centennial AME Zion's Church, stand up, make a difference. Join the Greater Centennial Social Action Ministry. Westchester County Homeowners Coalition for a Mount Vernon School Board Candidates Forum, Monday, May 4th, 2015 at 6 p.m. at the Greater Centennial AME Zion Church. That's my church. Give it a round of applause in the building.
That's my church too. Even though my pastor told me that he put out an APB on me because he ain't seen me.
He tell me that all the time.
He was like, he said we put out an APB, but he said I'm seeing what y'all doing on on Facebook, and I appreciate.
He told me the only time he see me is on TV. But still love him to death. Pastor Poe, we love you.
No doubt. So with that said, like I said, you could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. This is blackwestchester.com, presents People Before Politics. Until next week, peace.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for...